everybody, and happy Video Monday. This is Tisha Mahar. Today I want to teach you about back bending. In our culture, we are rounding forward like this almost all of the time. All the hours that we're sitting at our desks typing on the computer, driving in the car, when we eat our meals several times a day, we're always rounding forward. And we need to go backward. It is so healthy for the spine. Additionally, we often get hurt, right? Life is really hard, and all of the heartbreak and all of the loss and all of the struggle causes us to hold in the front side of the body. The upper part of the back, the cervical spine, this tends to be a very tight area for a lot of people, and I believe a big part of it is because we are holding so much here. Back bends open up your heart. And I've personally noticed that in times where I've been really hurting because of a loss or because of a heartbreak of some kind, those are the times that I notice that I almost avoid doing my back bending practice. And it's because back bends literally have this way of cracking you open. They make you feel more vulnerable because they make you feel whatever it is that you're trying to avoid. They move the energy, that stagnant emotion, up and out of the body. So they really open you up to healing. And I recommend them to everybody for this reason. So if you're somebody who hates back bends, if you find that you just, maybe it's because there's something there that needs to move. So I encourage you to take a deep breath and move through it, because really the only way out is through. So go through whatever it is that's there, and guaranteed you're going to be so much more open and receptive after. So today I want to show you back bends. I'm going to show you a beginner back bend, an intermediate back bend, and a more advanced back bend for the more advanced practitioners out there. 3 different back bends that you can work with in order to open the front side of your body, in order to start to open up your heart. All right. So I'm just going to move the computer here so you can see from the side. Okay. All right, so the first back bend that we're going to do is Camel Pose. So for this, what you're going to do is you're going to open your knees 6 inches apart. Okay, so hip width apart knees. You want your feet to be flat on the floor behind you. So sometimes people curl their toes when they do this pose. I would recommend keeping the feet flat. I find with my students that it just helps them to both look and feel a lot more stable in this. Next, you're going to bring your hands to your lower back. A lot of the time people bring their hands really low in this pose or more onto their butt. I wouldn't recommend that, because this often causes us to dump into our lower back, so that when we do the pose, we're bending mostly with just our lumbar spine. You don't want that. You're asking for back pain that way, so keep your hands a little higher. You could do low back, you could even bring your hands a little higher than that. This is really going to help to move the upper part of the spine that tends to be the most sticky. So with your hands towards your upper back, draw your elbows back together. This is also going to help to open this up right from the beginning. With your elbows back together, what you're going to do is you're going to take an inhale. Lift your heart right up to the ceiling, like you're going to put your chest on the ceiling, and then start to bend back over top of your flat hands. You can keep the chin lifted if that feels better for you, or you could relax the head back. You want to stay with your breath. Breathe in and out through the nose. And as you lift the upper back, bend back. Stay here for at least a few breaths, and then on your inhale, slowly come back up. All right, so the main thing with this first one is that you are really focusing on the lift. Often I see my students go into this pose and they just do this, and then they grab their heels. So now you can see, I am bending only the lower back. You see that? You want to be here. okay? So don't be in a rush to grab the heels. They are waiting for you. They'll be there. It's not that exciting once you do grab them. Well, kind of is, but they'll be there for you. Don't rush this. You can't, if you go for the heels too quickly and you're only using your lower back, you are going to be stuck in your back bends forever. So take your time, be patient, like I was talking about in my splits video. These things take time, it's a journey, go slowly. So again, elbows come back. As you breathe in, really find that lift, keeping chin up and eyes up towards the ceiling, or relaxing your head back. Keep your chest lifted, keep the elbows coming back together, and stay with the breath in and out, small sips of air through the nose, and then slowly come back out. Once you're at the point where you know your chest is staying lifted, you're back there, you're breathing calmly, you're good, then you can reach for the heels, no problem. But make sure that you have that lift and that you're comfortable first. Otherwise, you could be, again, just dropping too much into the lower back. Great. So next one we're going to do is for the intermediate yogis. So that's where you can start as a beginner. That's where I would recommend you start. If you do that like 3 times a day, that's going to be so helpful for, again, starting to open that stuff that's in the front side of the body. So for our intermediate practitioners, I'm going to recommend that you work with a bridge. So for a bridge, you're going to lay down on your back. Again, knees are about hip width apart. And then you're going to lay back and you're going to bring your hands beside your ears. Now, what happens often here is that people let their elbows flare out to the side. You need to keep the elbows in nice and close. So the hands are flat and the elbows are in. This posture takes quite a lot of tricep strength. So if you don't have really strong arms, this might be difficult for you. So you might want to work on doing more vinyasa flow, doing more chaturangas, a little bit more work to strengthen your upper body first. Okay? So then, with your elbows in and your feet flat, what you're going to do is you're going to start to push through your hands. You're going to lift the hips, but mostly start on the movement coming from your chest. All right? As you press your hands, you're going to come to the top of the head. Again, really think about the chest here. Don't just lift the hips up and forget the chest. Move with the chest, press through the hands, and you're going to come into a bridge. All right? So make sure that you have that chest moving. Make sure you're breathing. And then from here, you can really, if you want to, play by coming onto the heels so the toes are lifted and even bringing the chest through the arms. Coming back to the feet flat and again pressing into the hands, bringing the chest forward. Feet come down flat. This is one of my favorite exercises for opening up the spine. Come on forward, chest forward. Okay, like that. Otherwise, you just stay here for as long as you need. Make sure, again, that your chest is moving here. Okay, you could walk the feet in a little bit more, all kinds of things. To come out of this, you might be able to start working on just standing up. Otherwise, you bring your chin to your chest, bend the elbows, top of the head, back of the head, chin is in, and then head comes down. All right, so that one is for the more intermediate practitioners. Now I'm going to show you one for, oh my gosh, my hair, for the more advanced yogis. So for this one, all right, I'm going to stand again. Worst photographer ever, I've told you guys. But you say I'm such a good teacher and you like these videos, so I'm doing it anyway, but I'm so sorry about the photography. No, I'm the worst. Okay, for the standing back bend, 6 inches between between your feet, okay? Now, what I'm about to show you right now, actually all back bends in general, they really also require that your front of your hips are quite open. If your hips are really tight, when you start to want to go back, your hip flexors are going to scream. So this is why you have to practice yoga in its entirety. It'll open your body in all the directions it needs to open so that all of these postures will start to come more easily for you. But to start with, still work with your back bends, but keep on doing those other things. Opening the front of the hips. In the splits video, I was showing you a great pose for that. That will also help your back bends. It's all working synergistically. So for this next pose, I'm going to show you how you can start to work with doing a drop back. Now again, this requires that you have a really open front side of your body. This requires that you're at a place with your back bends where you don't feel afraid anymore. This requires that you are strong in your back as well, because this requires quite a bit of strength, especially if you're going to work on coming up. Now, once I get to the floor, you could come out of the pose the same way you just did with your bridge on the floor, tucking the chin and slowly lowering yourself down. You don't have to come back up. But eventually, once you have the strength as well as the flexibility, that's something that you can sure start to play with. So for this, feet are 6 inches apart. You want to make sure again that the focus is on the whole spine moving, not just the lower half. So important, I can't say it enough. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a breath in, lift your arms up to the ceiling, really stretch all the way through the spine, relax your head back, and then you're going to exhale, slowly go down. Start to breathe in and out through the nose, come all the way down. And then you're going to find yourself in your bridge again. You can come out slowly, or you can keep your lower body strong by pressing the feet down and engaging your bum. And inhale, to come back up. So that's the 2 options for coming out. So this in particular, it's like, it's super invigorating, super energizing, and it's very deep. And as your back bends become more deep, you're going to find that you're getting more of this rush from them. Best natural high there is, I'm telling you. So worth working with, once again, for so many reasons. If you're in a bit of a slump midday, instead of having another coffee, oh my gosh, if you did like 5 beautiful deep back bends, or to your level of depth, it's still going to be deep for you if they're new to you. Amazing. So I'm going to show you the standing one more time. Maybe I'll tilt it down so you can see here this time. All right, so feet are 6 inches apart. You're going to inhale, lift the arms, exhale. To the floor, staying with your breath, taking a moment coming out from here into the bridge, or I usually come onto the fingertips, really make sure that my feet are rooted down. Inhale. And come back to the top. So that's it, guys. Camel pose for the beginners. Bridge on the floor for my intermediate yogis and yoginis. And try the drop back into bridge for those of you who are more on the advanced side. I hope that helps. Please join my group, TESHIA'S group on Facebook. Ask me any questions that you have about your practice, about nutrition. I do holistic nutritional consulting as well, or about back bending. Additionally, the first retreat that I'm going to be running will be in the beginning part of 2019. Oh my gosh, yeah, 2019. And so I would love to have you there. I'm so excited to see so many of you that I've connected with in the cyber world, but never in person. I'm so excited to have you there and to teach you yoga and nutrition in person. So join my group so that you'll be in the know about the retreats. And yeah, again, hope to have you as a student in person sooner than later. Have a great day, and try doing some back bends, especially if you're hurting. I swear, I promise you they will help. Bye.